Hello students, in this video we are going to study our next chapter, that is chapter number 4. The chapter name is Materials, Metals and Non-Metals. So before starting the chapter, let we see what we are going to study in this chapter. So we will know about the metals and non-metals that we are using in our daily practice. Then we will see what is the need of the metals and non-metals in our life. Then after we will classify the metals and non-metals based on their properties. Then after we will see some of the chemical reactions of the metals and non-metals. We will also see some equations of these chemical processes. Then after we will see the uses of this metal and non-metals. So these are the different things we are going to study in this chapter. So now let me start the chapter. Our chapter 4, that is materials. In that we are going to study about metals and non-metals. So you're already familiar with the number of materials like iron, aluminium, copper, etc. and some materials have been given in the table 4.1. You had already listened or heard this name of these materials, that is iron, aluminium, copper, coal, sulfur. So the name of these materials are listed in this next table, that is in the table 4.1. The table shows the appearance and hardness of the materials. In that different objects are given to you. The name of the objects in the first column is given to you. In the next column we have to write appearance. How these materials look like. That is either shiny or dull. And in the last column we have to write about the hardness. Whether this material is very hard or not very hard, that we have to write in this table. So before writing this, let we see the picture of these materials. So in the tables, the name of the different materials given to you are iron, coal, sulfur, aluminium and copper, and one blank is there, so we will write about the phosphorus. So here the first material that is given to you in the table is iron. So this is the picture of iron. As you can see, it appears shiny, and if you had seen iron objects around you, you will find that it is very hard to press this iron. So in the hardness column, what will come? Very hard. In appearance it is shiny, and in hardness it is very hard. Next material is coal. So this is coal. You had already seen this coal. This is the picture of coal. As you can see, these are looking dull. So in appearance it looks dull, and we can easily break these particles or these pieces of this coal. So it is not very much hard. Next in the table that is given to you, that is sulfur. So this is the picture of sulfur. Yellow, as you can see, it is yellowish in the color, and it does not look shiny. It looks like a dull, or its appearance is dull, and as you can see, it's powder form and broken pieces. So it is not very hard to break this sulfur. So in the hardness it is not very hard. Next is aluminium. So here the picture of aluminium sheet is shown to you, aluminium piece. So as you can see, it is shiny and it is hard. You had generally seen these aluminium utensils in your house. You can see this aluminium in your house, which is used to make the utensils. Next is copper. So here the copper wires, or you can say copper pipes are there. Copper pipes is shown to you, and as you can see, it is shiny in appearance, and it is also very hard in the hardness. You had seen also copper vessels are also used in the house. Household uses of this copper is to make the utensils. Other than that, you had also seen this in the wires also. Electric wires and cables, copper is also used. Then next one column is given to you, that was blank. So in that we will write phosphorus. So here the picture of the phosphorus is shown to you. As you can see, it is in the powder form, and in the appearance it does not look like shiny, it looks dull, and as it is in the powder form, so it is not very hard. So this is the phosphorus. So from these pictures we can write now the table which shows the appearance and hardness of these different objects. So here the table is shown to you. First object is iron. So it looks shiny and it is very hard to press this iron. Next is coal. In the picture we had seen, it looks dull and it is not very that much of hard. Next is sulfur. It also looks dull in appearance and it is not very hard. Sulfur is not very much hard. Next is aluminium. So it looks shiny in the appearance and it is also hard to press this aluminium. So it is hard material or hard object. Next is copper. So as we had seen copper pipes, so they are shiny in appearance and it is very hard to press or to compress this kind of object. So copper is the hard object. And last blank, in that, as I told you, we are going to write the phosphorus. It looks dull and it is, as we had seen, the powder form of this phosphorus. It is not very hard material, it is soft material and we can easily break this material. So this is phosphorus. So this is your 4.1 table. You have to complete this table in your textbook. So now from that table, can you name the materials which are metals? So yes, as we had seen, the materials which are shiny in appearance and hard to touch or to compress, so those materials are known as the metals. So in the table we had seen iron, then aluminium and copper are shiny in appearance and they are hard objects, so that these objects are known as the metals, that is iron, aluminium and copper. And the rest of the materials in this table 4.1 are non-metals. So rest of the materials that are, those materials are coal, sulfur and phosphorus. They are dull in appearance and they are not hard objects. So these are known as the non-metals. So from this we can say that metals can be distinguished from non-metals on the basis of their physical and chemical properties. So by this we can say the metals and non-metals are differentiated from each other by their physical and chemical properties. So now here some of the physical properties are we had seen. Recall that luster and hardness are the physical properties. As in the earlier we had seen the luster, some objects are lustrous and very hard to compress or to press. So these are some of the physical properties by which we can differentiate metals and non-metals. So here first we will see the physical properties of these metals and non-metals. So let us start with the physical properties of the metals and non-metals. So now for the first property, one activity is given here. Have you ever seen a blacksmith beating an iron piece or an article, or you can say item, which is made up of iron, like spade, shovel and axe? Do you find a change in the shape of these articles on beating? If you had seen a blacksmith who is beating an iron piece or an object or item which is made up of iron, like spade, shovel and axe, and do you find any time that while beating these objects the shape of these articles change? No, the shape of these articles would not change, because as in the earlier previous table we had seen that iron is the very hard object and it is difficult to compress or to press this material. So this change of these items or the articles will not change by beating them. So now would you expect the same thing with the or a similar change if we try to beat a piece of coal? What will happen if we will beat a piece of coal? So as we had seen, the piece, if we will beat the piece of coal, then it will break into the smaller pieces or in the powder form. So for that one activity is given to you. So let us find out what happened to the different kinds of materials on heating or on beating them. So for that activity next 4.1 is given to you. For that, take a small iron nail, a coal piece, a piece of thick aluminium wire and a pencil lead. Now beat the iron nail with a hammer. Here as it is in the figure, it is shown to you, figure 4.1. According to that, likewise beat this iron nail with the help of hammer. And while doing this, take care of that you do not hurt yourself in this process of beating the iron nail. And try to hit hard. Put the more force on beating this iron nail. Hit hard the aluminium wires also. Beat the iron nail and aluminium wire hard and then repeat this same activity or same kind of treatment on the coal piece of coal and the pencil lead. And then after record your observation in the next table 4.2. Here 4.2 table is given to you. In that malleability of materials is given to you. After doing this activity, we will know about what is malleability of the different materials. So in the table it is given to you. In the first column, objects or the material name is given to you. And in the second column, we have to write whether an object changes its shapes. That means it flattens or break into pieces. That we will have to write. The name of the objects are given to you that we had already taken in this activity, that is iron nail, coal piece, aluminium wire and pencil lead. So before writing this table, let we see this activity. So small iron nail, piece of coal, pencil lead and aluminium wire is required for this activity. To beat that, hammer is required. So first, beat iron nail with the help of hammer. Beat it harder, and while this, take care that you do not get hurt or you do not hurt yourself. And after some time you will notice like this. And same, beat the aluminium wire harder and you will also notice that the shape of this aluminium wire and iron nail change into the thin sheet. So this shape of this wire change into thin sheet, as you can see in this picture. So we can say the metals are malleable. So this shows the malleability property of the metals. Now beat piece of coal and pencil lead. So you will find the smaller pieces of these two objects, that is with coal piece and the lead, pencil lead. So they are not malleable and they are break into the smaller pieces. So metals are malleable and non-metals like this coal piece and pencil leads are non-malleable. They are not malleable. So this is the physical property of the metals. So after performing this activity, we can write these tables like this. For the first one, that is iron nail. When we beat or hit this iron nail hard with the help of hammer, it flattens and does not break into pieces. We will find sheet-like structure or sheet-like shape of the iron nail, but it does not break into small pieces. So that is iron nail. Next is coal piece. When we hit this coal piece or we beat this coal piece with the hammer, it will break into smaller pieces or in the powder form. Next is aluminium wire. The same thing happen with the aluminium wire. What is happen with this iron nail? It flattens and does not break into pieces. It will converted into a thin sheet. Next is pencil lead. So when we will heat this or beat this pencil lead, it breaks into smaller pieces like the coal piece. So this is the observation from the activity. You can write this table in your textbook. So as in the activity you saw that the shape of an iron nail and the aluminium wire change on beating. As we had mentioned in the table, the shape of the aluminium wire and iron nail has changed by beating, and if they were beaten harder, this could be changed into sheets. The shape of the iron nail and aluminium could be changed into a thin sheets. And you might be familiar with the silver foil that is used for decorating sweets. We had seen the silver foil which we are using for the decoration purpose on the sweets. So that is also made from a metal that is silver. By beating harder this silver, we can get the silver foil. And you must also familiar with the aluminium foil that is used for wrapping food. We are using this aluminium foil by to wrap the food. So we can get this aluminium foil by beating harder to the aluminium. And the property of this metal by which they can be turned into thin sheets is called malleability. This property of metals in which we can beat them and we can convert or we can change the shape of that metals into a thin sheet. So this property of the metals is known as the malleability. And this is a characteristic property of metals, and you must have noticed that materials like coal and pencil lead do not show this property. So can we call these metals? No, we cannot say pencil and coal as the metal, as they do not have this property, physical property, that is malleability. So the materials which shows this malleability property, those materials are known as the metals, and it is the characteristic property of the metal, that is malleability. In this property we can change the shape of the metals by beating them into a thin sheets. Now next property of the metals is given to you. Can you hold hot metallic pan which is without a plastic or a wooden handle and not get hurt? In the previous classes we had seen that metallic pans or cooking utensils are provided with the plastic and wooden handles. So we cannot hold the hot metallic pan without the handle of plastic or wooden handle. It will hurt. Perhaps not. Why? Try to list some other experience in which wooden or plastic handles protect you from being hurt while handling hot things. So we had seen that in the cooking utensil, most of the cooking utensils are provided with the wooden and plastic handles. Like we had seen this pan, then pressure cooker. These all things are provided with the plastic and wooden handles, so that we cannot get hurt or we not hurt by the while handling these hot things. And on the basis of this experience, what can you say about the conduction of heat by wood and plastic? So we had seen already in the 7th standard, 7th class, the conduction of heat. So in that we had seen wood and plastic are the materials which are poor conductor, or you can say insulators of the heat. Heat cannot easily pass through this kind of materials, that is wood and plastic. So that's why the cooking utensils which we have to use them to cook food and which are usually used at the higher temperature, so they are provided with the wooden and plastic handles. So this is the another property of the metals, that they are good conductors of heat, like iron, copper, aluminium. We are using these materials while making the cooking utensils. So these are the good conductors of heat. Now next, another property, physical property of the metals is given to you. You must have seen an electrician using his screwdriver. Now, what kind of handle does it have and why? So, if you had not observed or noticed, then electrician's screwdriver handle is made up of plastic because it is the insulator, or you can say poor conductor of electricity. So while handling the electrical apparatus or electrical appliances to for the safety of himself, the handle of the screwdriver is made up of plastic. So now we will see the electrical conductivity of different materials by the next activity, that is activity 4.2. So now let me see activity 4.2. Recall how to make an electric circuit to test whether electricity can pass through an object or not. Here in the figure 4.2 it is shown to you. You might have performed this activity in the various object with the various kind of objects in your class 6. We will repeat this same activity with the different materials that is mentioned in the next table, that is table 4.3. You have to observe and then after group those materials into good conductors and poor conductors. So before seeing or before this activity, let me see the circuit, electric circuit for this activity. Here the cell is shown to you, that is connected with the bulb with the electric wires, and here you can see the iron nail is connected between the wires, and while when we connected this iron nail, we can see that bulb is glowing. So now we will perform the same activity with the iron nail that is already shown to you in the figure, then sulfur, coal piece and copper wire. So in place of this iron nail, we will replace the sulfur, coal piece and copper wire, and we will check the electrical conductivity of these different materials. And then after we will write this observation in this table here. In the first column, the materials, name of the materials are given to you, that is iron rod, nail, or nail you can also use. Then after next material is sulfur, then after coal piece and then copper wire. So now let me see this activity. So after this activity, we can record our observation like this. The first material is iron nail. This middle one column you do not have to write in your textbook. The last column directly is given to you in your textbook, that is either good conductor or poor conductor. So when we will connect the iron nail in the circuit, the bulb gives light or bulb will glow. So it is the good conductor of electricity. We can say that the iron is the good conductor of electricity. The next object that we have to connect, that is sulfur. So when we connect sulfur, the bulb does not give light. So we can say that it is the poor conductor of electricity. Next third object is coal piece. So when we will connect the coal piece, the bulb does not give light. And we can say that the coal is also a poor conductor of electricity. And last one is copper wire. So when we will connect this copper wire in the circuit, bulb gives the light or bulb will glow. So we can say that the copper is the good conductor of electricity, and that is why we are using copper to make the wires, electrical wires. So this is the observation for this record, for this activity, and you have to record this observation in your textbook. So from this activity we had observed that iron rod or nail and copper wire are good conductors, while rolled sulfur piece, that means a sulfur piece, and coal piece are poor conductors of electricity. So now Paheli is saying something that, the meaning of recalling our experiences and then of this activity was to show that metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, and that you had already learned in the class 6, that metals are the good conductors of heat and electricity. So now next physical property is given to you for the metals and non-metals, that where do you find the use of aluminium and copper wires? Have you seen the wires of coal? So yes, you had find the use of copper and aluminiums to make the wires, or you have observed the wires, then you usually find that the wires are made up of aluminium and copper, but you had not seen the wires which is made up of coal. So the property of metal by which it can be drawn into wire is called ductility. The property of metal by which we can stretch these metals and we can give the shape of the wires, or we can draw into the wire form. So this property of metals is known as the ductility. So now have you ever noticed the difference? The next activity, physical property of the metals is given to you. For that, have you ever noticed the difference in sound on dropping an iron sheet or plate, a metal coin, and a piece of coal on the floor? And if you have not noticed, then you can try it right now. Drop the iron sheet or plate, whatever you have, or a metal coin and a piece of coal, or you can also use the piece of wood on the floor. Drop these items in the floor and observe the sound which is produced by these objects. Do you note any difference in the sound produced? So you will definitely find the difference in the sound which are produced by these different objects. So now let me see what is the difference in the sound. So the one another is also there, a question is there, have you seen wooden bells in the temples? Can you give a reason? So no, I had not seen any wooden bells that are in the temples. Usually the bells in the temples are made up of metals like copper, then aluminium, iron, so that are not made up of wooden. Why? When you will perform this activity of dropping these different materials on the floor, you will find that the metals, or like iron, then copper, they will produce the different sound as compared to the objects like wood, then after coal. So what is now difference that we will see? The things made up of metals produce a ringing sound, as in the bell which is there in the temples. When we hit this bell. So we will listen, or we can hear the ringing sound. So the metals produce the ringing sound when it struck to the hard objects. And suppose you have two boxes that is similar in the appearance, one made up of wood and the other is of metal. Now can you tell which box is made up of metal by striking both the boxes? So yes, we can say by striking both the boxes, we can say easily that which one is made up of metal and which one is made up of wood. However, they are similar in the appearance. The metal will produce the ringing sound while wood will not produce the ringing sound. So this is how we can say which one box is made up of metal and which one box is made up of wood. And since these metals produce ringing sounds, they are said to be sonorous. And the materials that is other than metals are not sonorous. The metals which produce this ringing sound, so that's why these metals are called or said to be sonorous, and the non-metals or the other materials other than the metals, they are not sonorous. And after performing the above activities, we can say that we had seen some of the physical properties of the metals. So we can say that some materials are hard, lustrous, malleable, ductile, sonorous, and good conductors of heat and electricity. So from these activities, we can say that some objects are, or some materials are hard to compress. They are lustrous, that means they are shiny. They are malleable, that means we can give the shape of the thin sheets by beating them. They are ductile, that means we can draw them into thin wires. They are sonorous, that means they are producing the ringing sound, and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. That means they allow heat and electricity easily to pass through them. So these are some of the physical properties of the metals. So the materials which generally possesses these properties are called metals. These are the physical properties of the metals. And the examples of metals are iron, copper, aluminium, calcium, magnesium, etc. These are some of the examples of metals. And in contrast, the materials like coal and sulfur, as we had seen, they are soft and dull in appearance. They break down into a powdery mass on tapping with the hammer. When we beat these objects, then they converted into the smaller piece in the powder form. So they are very soft and dull in the appearance. They are not sonorous, they are not producing the ringing sound, and are poor conductors of heat and electricity. They are not allowing heat and electricity to pass through them easily. So these materials are called or are known as the non-metals. The examples of such kind of materials are given here. The examples of non-metals are sulfur, then carbon, oxygen, phosphorus, etc. are the examples of non-metals. So these are the metals and non-metals, the physical properties of the metals and non-metals. But there are some exceptions also is there. So metals like sodium and potassium are soft and can be cut with the knife. As in the physical property of the metals, we had seen that they are shiny and they are hard. But some exceptional, that is with sodium and potassium is there. These are the metals, but however we can cut them by a knife, that means they are soft. The another exceptional case is also there, that is with mercury. That mercury is the only metal which is found in liquid state at the room temperature. So these are the exceptions. All the other metals are in the solid form at the room temperature, but the mercury is the only metal which is in the liquid form or in the liquid state at the room temperature. So there is the exceptional case with mercury, sodium and potassium. So in this video we had seen iron, copper, aluminium, nickel and zinc are also the metals. Gold and silver etc. are metals, while sodium, potassium, magnesium and calcium, these are also metals. Then we had seen the examples of non-metals. So carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, etc. are solid non-metals, whereas oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, etc. are the non-metals, but they are in the gaseous form. So these are the examples of non-metals in the gaseous forms. Then we had seen physical properties of metals and non-metals. So in that we had seen in the physical properties of the metals, we had seen first malleability. So they can be hammered into a thin sheets. Then after we had seen that they are good conductors of heat and electricity. They can be drawn into thin wires. They can produce the ringing sounds when beaten, and they have shiny surface, that means they have lustrous. And then we had seen they are hard. In that we had seen also exception, that is sodium potassium. So they are soft, or we can cut even with the knife. Then we had seen physical properties of non-metals, that they break into small pieces on hammering. They are bad conductors of heat and electricity. They cannot be drawn into thin wires. They are not sonorous, and they are soft and dull. So these are the physical properties of non-metals. So in this video we had seen the examples of metals and non-metals and physical properties of metals and non-metals. In the next video we will see the remaining part of this chapter. Thank you.